Hey, what's going on, everybody? Are you in the market for a new AV or home theater receiver? Whether that's because you're building out a whole new home theater, media room, or just need to replace your old receiver, well, I'd love to help you guys out with thinking about that decision and just some of the common things that I think about when advising our clients. So, my name is Henry Johnson. I'm with the company Digital Home. We've been in business for over 15 years. Doing home theaters and smart home installations. And when it comes to picking a home theater receiver for our clients, the number one thing I think about is how are they trying to use this receiver. And what I mean by that is, number one, is it just for creating surround sound for their TV? Do they also want to be able to play Netflix, Amazon Video, things of that nature? Do they also want to be able to play music through the receiver or anything of that nature? Or even, are they thinking about using this as maybe more than one zone of delivery, right? Do they want to be able to have surround sound in this room, but also be able to listen to their TV in another room or listen to music in another room? These are all things that are going to come into play. And if you do, you really want to make sure that your receiver can do all these capabilities. If you want to be able to watch Netflix on it through that receiver, do you want to have that Netflix be something that is embedded in the receiver, or do you want to have like an Apple TV or a Roku that you're going to hook into it? I highly recommend that, like getting a Roku or getting an Apple TV. I don't think the receivers and things of that nature have the best interfaces for them yet. Also, is it going to be a receiver for a TV or for a projector? Then that's kind of taking it down the lane of video, right? So the receiver is audio and video. Then you're going down the video lane. Is it going to be for a receiver? I mean, is it going to be for TV? Is it going to be for a projector? You want to think these things through. Does it have HDR capabilities? And I mean HDR, when I say HDR, all of the HDR capabilities, right? Does it do Dolby Vision? Does it do HLG? Does it do just the HDR10, which is probably the more popular one today? But also making sure that you're future-proofing so it can do all of them moving into the future. What else? Does it support 4K? Because you don't want to buy something today that's not going to support 4K, which is not the dominant video yet, but definitely coming more into becoming the dominant video type. So thinking these things through. Then you want to think about audio, and I think audio kind of gives you a lot more things to think through, and that is how many channels, number one, do you need? Do you want a 5.1, 5.2 system? Do you want a 7.1, 7.2, 9.2? Do you need Dolby Atmos, DTS-X? Because, I mean, number one, I would never go anything under a 5.1. Actually, I don't even know if they make anything under 5.1 anymore, but at least if you're doing a receiver, you're probably doing at least 5.1. If not, there's other options for you, which we can talk about on another video. So at least 5.1. I would also make sure that it has capabilities of Dolby Atmos or DTS, because those are becoming more and more popular, and just gives you a little more future proofing so that you can make those decisions in the future if that's something that you want to do. What else is there that I would think about? The room, right? If you're not in a perfectly constructed theater that has all of the correct the correct setup, does it have acoustic setup and all that kind of stuff, you're really going to want to think about room correction. Does the receiver have room correction capabilities? If you're just putting it in like a living room where it's opened up to the kitchen on this side or opened up to the kitchen in the back, that room's not set up perfectly for a surround sound. So having some kind of room correction within your receiver to make sure that you're getting the best sound quality possible is very, very important. In these cases, a lot of times we'll recommend something like the Anthem receivers, because they have really good room correction, but there's a lot of other ones out there that have good room correction as well. So definitely think that through. And then lastly comes to, I think this is more for just updating the receiver when there are firmware upgrades, and that's Wi-Fi. But it also can help with if you want to have a receiver that, you know, has its own built-in music system, like some of the Denon ones have Hios built into them. Other ones have the Yamaha, I think it's MusicCast, built into them. So thinking that through, does it make sense to have Wi-Fi so you can do that? But you definitely want to at least have Wi-Fi so you can do firmware upgrades. I personally, if you're going to do music, would say get a box that's going to sit outside of the receiver, because again, just like with the Netflix, Amazon Video, etc., I think they just work better, they interface better than what's in the receivers today. So getting like a Sonos Connect and then having that input into the receiver, I think makes more sense than getting a Denon that has Hios in it, because I personally just like Sonos better than Hios, and I can go into that another time as well. But yeah, so that's my main things to think about when it comes to making a home theater or AV receiver decision. Is number one, what are you going to be using it for? Number two, think about the video quality and video aspects, and then number three, thinking about the audio quality, audio aspects, and then number four, thinking about the network connection, Wi-Fi, Ethernet, whatever you're going to be doing, making sure there's something there, because there are going to be firmware updates that are going to happen with it that are going to continue to make that receiver better for you, that you're definitely going to want to have. So that's it for me today, guys. Again, Henry Johnson here from Digital Home. Would love your guys' thoughts on this. If you have any other questions in regards to home theater receivers, you can always comment in the comment section. You can hit me up above. I'll put my website as well as my email address and even our office number here, so that you guys can reach out to me if you have questions. And anything else you guys are curious about in regards to home theaters or smart homes, let me know in the comments. I'll keep doing videos like this so that we can continue to help you guys out. So I look forward to talking to you guys again soon, and you have a great day. Peace.